Hello guys and welcome back to part 5 of the F1 Career Mode. Today we'll be racing in Spain for the Spanish Grand Prix. We're currently sitting in 11th in the drivers with 4 points, our teammates 15th with 1 point, and we're currently sitting 7th in the constructors with 5 points, 13 points from Visa Cash App, and ahead of Williams by 3 points. And let's head into this meeting with Williams. Williams looking to sign us for next season. We are going to have to say no, as there's no point for us switching over to Williams, as we're currently doing better in Alpine with 3 more points than what Williams have with their drivers. So we are going to decline the talks with them. As you can see, we've got 11th and 15th as in the drivers, so we're doing much better than their 2 drivers are,
Hey, me
who have
again.
2 points
Been
combined.
chatting with some of the team higher ups, and they're delighted with the loyalty you're showing to the team and the project. Now's a good time to ask for a bonus, or a boat, or whatever it is you people get up to out of the car.
Okay, so we'll simulate through the rest of the weekend to get some more resource points for ourselves, which will be handy for us when we need to upgrade the car a little bit as we go into a season break. We're going to look to see if we can upgrade any parts of the car, which it looks like we're short in some, but we do have enough for the cockpit weight reduction, and we are going to upgrade that in chassis. We'll start the season break and simulate through the rest of the weekends to get more points and to see if upgrades will go on the car, as we have the halo going onto the car and it works, so that's good to see. We'll go straight into the weekend, into qualifying. But we do have one more upgrade that we could put on the car before qualifying, as we look to put on any upgrades we can. We got an ignition system that we can put on, major engine power component, and we'll put that onto the car. Out we go for our first run in qualifying. See where we can get. Hopefully we can get to Q2 at least. Past the line we go. On for our first lap. Oh, and we spin. That's the end of that lap. We will go and finish the lap just so we get a delta for the next lap, to make sure that we're able to see where we're at on the lap. Out for the lap number 2.
We've dropped to P20.
Across the line we go for that number 2 in qualifying. Not the greatest start, we're already down by half a 10 on the main straight. We gained some time out of turn 1 and 2. Now we're up on time. poor entry but a better
Okay,
exit
1
out
minute
of there.
remaining, just
We
1 minute.
gained 3 seconds on time because of the spin that we had. So now we're up by almost 4 seconds. Now 4 seconds.
"30 seconds left in the session."
Up by 4 and over a half seconds. Into the final corner we go. We are going to have a 4-second and 6/10 improvement on our time, which is enough to get us through to Q2 in P14. Gasly does a 14.4 with, 5 seconds off the pace, 6 seconds off the pace, or 6/10. 6 seconds would be quite a lot off the pace, as that wouldn't result into a Q2 appearance if he did that. Across the line we go for our first lap in Q2. Hopefully we don't have a spin like we did last time, because that cost us a fair bit of time. It cost us a good first run. We didn't have a banker lap, so we had to go for it.
Okay, we've been pushed down to P13.
Now for our second lap in qualifying. Across the line we go, into the middle.
Right,
We're
that's
already
us
up
pushed
by
down into
over
P15.
2/10. Make that 3 into first turn. We're gaining time left, right and centre here through the last lap. Almost up by 8/10. We go a little bit wide out of that turn, which is going to cost us a few tenths of time. Up by a second now. And we go up to P14. So we're going to be out of qualifying. Pierre Gasly through to Q3. And we end up getting P15 as Russell improves to beat our time. So we're going to be starting from P15 in the race. Not the best start, but it is what it is.
So many eventful races here in Barcelona over the years. Do you remember Max Verstappen's first win on debut for Red Bull here in 2016? 2 years before, we had the dramatic coming together of Hamilton and Rosberg going towards turn 4. There's always a treat in store as we head back to the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya for the Spanish Grand Prix. It's an updated track at Catalunya, and the popular opinion in the paddock is that we never wanted the chicane in the first place. That's now been gone, the final corner is much faster, and at 2.9 miles and 14 turns, we await the Spanish Grand Prix. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. Edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Perez, Oscar Piastri, Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Hamilton, Sainz, Gasly, Albon, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Stroll, Russell, Daniel, Magnussen, Sargent, Hulkenberg, Joe, and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. So I'm sure there'll be plenty to talk about this afternoon, and who's going to talk about it with us? None other than Naomi Schiff. Hi, Naomi. As we all know, every single driver wants to know what's required of them, and in the case of this driver, I think things are pretty stable at the moment. They're doing what the team require. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, every driver certainly has their own way of preparing themselves before a race. But I can tell you that pre-race rituals are a real thing. When I was in go-karting, I used to touch every wheel in a specific sequence before I got into the kart. And then I stepped up to cars and had a specific set of fireproof base layers just for race day. So watch the drivers when they're on the grid. Some may be sitting on the floor and isolating, others may be up to other things that they do. But these little things really help their minds get ready for the race.
So we'll be starting on either soft mediums, and then or we'll be doing medium hards. We might be able to stretch this mediums out so we can do softs at the end. But we'll see how we go through the race and see how our tyres are feeling as we go on.
The formation lap gets underway, and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure that their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out. As the cars come back towards the grid to line up for the start of the race, each driver will be wanting to get the best start they possibly can. And they'll be hoping to finish today's race on the podium, failing that, within the points.
Five lights, and away we go for the Spanish Grand Prix. We have a pretty good start here. We're able to overtake Tsunoda on the main straight, as well as maybe being able to overtake Sargent. Russell is behind us. We're able to get it past him, and we've got Albon side by side with us. We're able to be a little bit ahead of him as he goes on the inside line throughout those turns, and we gain the position for a little bit. He fights back at us again, and we're able to hold on to the position. So now we're in 12th behind Stroll, who's on softs.
Okay, the start was fine.
So we're going to have to nurse these mediums to get some pace out of them later on in the stint, as there's others around us who are on softs who's going to be trying really hard to nurture them and be able to keep in touch with them.
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Gasly and someone else is fighting ahead against each other. Gasly and Sainz. Ferrari of Sainz and Alpine of Gasly fighting each other. As we look to overtake Stroll as we did. Now we're behind Ricciardo, we give him a bit of a love tap behind him. We go a bit wide out of that turn there.
Okay,
We use overtake and open DRS on the straight as Ricciardo and Gasly are battling ahead. Gasly's got the inside line going into turn 2. Into turn 3 they go with Ricciardo at the inside line and he's able to maintain the position. As we have Stroll approaching us on the inside, looking for a position, and he's able to get it. We look to the inside into the next turn, but we're not going to take it. As Stroll gets into P11 and Ricciardo gets into P9. We shove Stroll out of the way and get the position back. Not the most legal move, but it is how it is. Now Stroll and Albon fighting each other behind us. And Ricciardo and Gasly ahead as they're out of DRS range now. As they almost go into battle into turn 1 and 2, but they don't. Gasly sticks behind Ricciardo. Albon and Stroll fighting each other enough for them to stay behind. So we have a solid P10 and 11 on the table. We're falling out of DRS range from Gasly as Gasly looks to approach Ricciardo. We get a personal best lap and it's still not enough to keep up with Gasly and Ricciardo. Stroll and Albon behind fighting each other as they go into turn 1. Albon staying behind Stroll as Stroll is able to maintain the position of P12. Gasly and Ricciardo ahead. The pack ahead of Ricciardo has seemingly gotten away.
Okay, mate, engine's running very hot. Engine very hot. Let's try and pull out from behind the car in front and cool things down.
We're just staying behind Gasly here in the DRS, hoping he can keep up with Ricciardo, who's on softs. As the softs will be starting to get worn now, so they won't be as good as the mediums. Mediums should soon be able to go faster than the softs, but for now Ricciardo does have a good lead on Gasly. Perez has fallen back into the clutches of Ricciardo now. He must have locked up at some point to cause this to happen, as he wasn't near us earlier on. So he must have had a mistake that caused him to fall back into the clutches of Ricciardo. As now we open DRS and now chase down Gasly. Gasly getting closer to Perez as he goes and makes an overtake. Gasly is now into P9 and Perez has fallen back 2 places into P10. We got Stroll behind who's closing up on us, only less than 2 tenths behind us, now 3 tenths. And Russell who's able to make it closer to the pack as well. Can we overtake Perez, send him wide? We have a bit of contact with Stroll, as Stroll looks to go around the outside of us. And Perez has lost 4 places within the lap.
Okay, really, really good. You hit that target nicely. There's a long way to go in this race, so let's keep it clean. Okay, you're in the top 10.
Gasly's overtaken Ricciardo now on track, so he's up into P8. We're in P10. Looking for any opportunities to overtake Ricciardo, but we're not quite good enough yet for that. A little bit of contact into the back of Ricciardo. Russell's seemingly fallen backwards and he's gone out of the clutches of Stroll. As Stroll lurks behind us, only 4 tenths behind us. now less than 4 tenths, up to 1 tenth. He's overtaking us on the inside, and Stroll's able to make the move, but will we make the lunge into turn 1? We do, and we're able to take the inside line into turn 2 and overtake Stroll back in the turns. We go a bit wide out of turn 3, and Stroll goes and fights back. We look around the outside, we have a bit of contact as we go out of the turn 3, or turn 4, and now we sit behind Stroll as he's got some powerful softs, even though they should be pretty worn now. %, worn tyres now, 40% in the front left, and the other 3 tyres are pretty good, except it only matters what the highest one is. So 40% worn in the tyres. Gonna have to be a bit lenient on the front left tyre, as we need to get the most we can. Russell's now caught us, and is right behind us and is looking for the overtake down the inside. And he's able to make the overtake, and he's probably too far ahead for us to make a lunge, and we don't. So he stays ahead of us in P11 as we fall down to P12. We have DRS and Russell as Russell chased down Stroll on the straight. Over a second now, the distance between us and Russell, as Gasly and Stroll battle for P10, or for P9 actually. And Gasly sits behind in P10 as Stroll has made the overtake on Gasly. Russell approaching Gasly down the inside, Russell goes, and Russell's able to make the move successfully by turn 2. So Russell up into P10, as now me and Gasly are out of the points, both of us, as we sit in P11 and 12.
We've got a lot of spare energy, okay to use your overtake button.
Sonoda catching us from behind, as he is now less than a second from us. He should have DRS on the straight, as now he sits 9 tenths behind us. We sit 2 tenths behind Gasly here as we approach turn 1, the last turn. Into the pits goes Ricciardo and Stroll. So we're back up into P9 and 10.
Okay, mate, Pierre ahead. Right, let's go. Let's try and get past them and put them on the back foot. Push, push.
We're being told to overtake Gasly now, which we haven't really been too close to him, so we're not really expecting to overtake him. But we will try as hard as we can. Sonoda's sitting right behind us now, as he's caught up to us. As we get ever so close to Gasly, we just stay behind him though. We don't go for the overtake and he locks up into turn 1,
It looked like you made easy work
giving
of
us
that
the
target.
position.
Let's try and keep that going right through to the end of the race. And gap to the car in front, 2.2 seconds.
Alonso pitting. Some people go into the pits like Verstappen and Hamilton. As our teammate dives into the pits for a pit stop, and so does
Pierre
Sonoda.
is in the pits.
They're all going onto the hard tyres as they ran mediums for the first half. And we are most likely going to be doing the same thing.
The car ahead of you's just fitted the hard tyres. Car ahead now on the hard compound.
We come into the pits for a pit stop. Purple optimal stopping.
Okay, there seems to have been a problem attaching the right front wheel. We need to try and put that behind us though.
Not
and
the
finish
greatest
race
pit stop,
strong.
as we've had a problem with our tyre. Hasn't gone on properly,
Pit
so
strategy
it'll cost us
complete.
1.6
See these
seconds.
tyres through to the end now.
Now we approach behind Gasly out of the pits. was Joe and Albon behind us by a little bit.
Okay, clear.
As someone is now retiring from the race, Joe and you out of the race. We approach behind Gasly slowly. As now we're falling back from Gasly and Tsunoda. Now we're just back in DRS range of Gasly as we get DRS open onto the main straight.
At the moment, the car behind is lapping faster than us by around a second a lap.
We have fallen back behind Perez now on track, as he is overtaking us as we took the gravel earlier on. With Albon behind us on the hard tyres.
Right, a gap to the teammate ahead of us. 3.1 seconds.
As we do a switcheroo on Perez into the first turn. And we're able to take the position off him and gain our place back. Perez overtakes us on the main straight as we go into turn 1, and
Okay,
he's already done the
your lap
move by
times are
then.
all over the place right now. We've got to have
Got Albon
consistency.
behind
Come on,
us
we can do better
with
than this.
6 tenths difference between us two, and Perez is only 4 tenths ahead of us. Perez has gotten away from us now, as he's pretty far ahead. He's out of DRS range. We don't have any DRS on him.
By 5/10 a lap.
And Albon's right behind us. He goes for the overtake. And we've just had no pace ever since we turned onto the hards. It's just not been good for us, as these tyres haven't worked on the car. Probably should have tried medium softs, but it would have been a long journey on the mediums and the softs. As Albon's now ahead of us, and we go wide into the gravel and rejoin onto the track. From that mistake, we're now 2.5 seconds from Albon, who's up the row.
Okay, gap ahead, 2.4 seconds. Fastest lap at the moment, 1 minute 16.4. Gap to your teammate ahead, 6.2 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards, they're in 12th. Your last lap time, 1:17.9. Managing your tyres, manage your tyres.
Nothing going on right now in the race, as we are 4 seconds ahead of Bottas and 2 seconds behind of Albon.
Okay, gap to the car in front, 2.0 seconds.
Max Verstappen sets the fastest lap of the race, as he is leading the Grand Prix at the moment, ahead of either Norris or Piastri. We get our personal best lap on these hards. Starting to get used to them now.
Right, the gap to the teammate ahead of us, 4.9 seconds. Okay, gap to the car ahead, 1.8 seconds.
Now 30% on the front left tyre, which is going to be, we'll be able to bring these tyres home and finish the race off in them, as they haven't aged badly.
Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by, 1.5 seconds. use your overtake button more. It's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on. Catching the car ahead, well done, but be aware these tyres need to get us to the end of this race. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 1.8 seconds.
Dip our tyres into the gravel there, out of turn 4. Bottas has slowly gone further and further behind us, as he's now almost 9 seconds behind us, as Albon's 2 seconds ahead of us. So we've got no one around us. It's been quite a boring second half of the race, and our car's just not been there today, as we haven't been fast enough to go for points, but we haven't been slow enough to be fighting the people behind. So we're going to come home for a P15 here, with 1 lap to go. Onto the final lap we go. As we pass the line, we go to the final lap.
Push, push.
And now we come home for the last of this.
The car behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap. Well done.
Max Verstappen comes home to finish and win the Spanish Grand Prix, and we will come home with P13 and 15 for the team. Not a great result for us, but it is a good learning experience for the team, as we've been nowhere this race. Haven't been in any battles. We were good in the first half of the race, but the second half of the race we've been out of time. We go around the final corners into the last corner, and we come home for a P15 finish. Over the line we go, and it's P15 for us.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
And in the end, there was no Verstappen. Max Verstappen, he takes victory.
Wow, that's 3 wins in a row. This clearly solidifies them as a season contender. It's very tough to achieve 3 in a row, so very well done.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves. It was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
Max Verstappen first, second Norris, and Piastri rounds off the podium with P3. We get P13 and 15 today, not a good race for us, as we will have to work on our performances and hopefully go into the next race with a better result. In the standings, Verstappen leads with Norris and Piastri after him, as the podium today were the top three in the standings. We are currently on 4 points with Gasly on 1, and as a team we're in 7th with 5 points. We're currently drawing the teammate rivalry as we gain experience, racecraft, awareness, and pace, and also focus. Currently rated 68, as we have 45% recognition in the team. If you've enjoyed the video today, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to stay tuned for more, be sure to subscribe, and we will see you next time for the Austrian Grand Prix sprint weekend, so it'll be a longer video, most likely. So we will see you next time.